What's going on, guys? It's James. Let me just start off by saying I made a recent purchase. I picked this up. It's an Empire Axe. It's no longer stock. If you know me, I can't leave anything stock. Changed the VNeck, the trigger, and the bolt already, the bolt and spring. But for the most part, it's pretty stock. If you were wondering if I sold my Invert Mini, which I love, the answer is no, I did not sell it. I will use this thing until it dies. This thing is fucking awesome, you guys. If you've ever seen my other YouTube videos or subscribed to me already, you know I love this fucking gun. I'm not getting rid of this damn thing. And for those guys, you're probably wondering why I would buy an axe if I love my Mini so much. And the answer is I got a fantastic deal on this thing, and I really was curious about how the axe shot in comparison to Mini. And I was on YouTube maybe like 2-3 days ago, and I looked up like Mini versus axe videos. And there were a few good ones, but they all talked about the same shit that you don't need to feel the guns to notice right away. And it really irritated me, because there's a lot of similarities and a lot of differences between the axe and Mini that they just didn't touch upon. And I don't think it was right, honestly. I think that was really stupid, and I know I could do a much better in-depth video than them. So, ha! Let's talk about the similarities between the two first. Here's my Mini. To start off, the packaging between the Axe and Mini is pretty much the same. They both come in a cardboard box with foam, real spare parts kit, nice barrel bag, whatever, manuals between the two, very nice. They both come with that shitty 12-inch one-piece barrel that nobody shoots. They're both cocker threaded. The detents. It's a V3 Mini, by the way. I'm basically touching upon the similarities between V3 Mini stuff and the Axe. I don't think anybody shoots V1 Minis anymore. Those parts are really dated. They are a lot different. I'm not going to touch upon that shit. I'm only touching about V3 stuff. So the V3 detents are identical between the Axe and Mini. Identical. The VNeck is pretty much the same. I don't want to call it identical because I can't confirm that it is. This is the VNeck off of my Axe. The reason I can't confirm that they're identical is because I don't have the one off my Mini anymore, because I basically destroyed it when I removed it off my Mini. This one, as you can see, I did a pretty sexy job at removing. It looks brand new. The way I took the one off my Mini was a little crude. It did work, and I didn't hurt anything other than the VNeck, but it was very crude. I took the body off of my Mini, flipped it upside down with the VNeck down here, clamped it in a vise. I know. And basically just twisted the body of my axe till the VNeck twisted off, broke the Loctite in there. It worked, but I destroyed that VNeck. The way I got this one off was a little sneaky. I took a 19mm socket, I wrapped it in duct tape. Check it out. I'm keeping it like this. It worked really well. You take that, you open up your VNeck, stick this fucker in there, pow. Clamp it down, tighten this down a little bit just so that there's no play in here. Take your wrench, make sure it's on loosening. Take the body of your gun, stick it between your thighs. You're not going to hurt anything. I don't even think you'll hurt yourself, honestly. Just twist it right off. It'll break the Loctite really simply. Won't hurt anything. Didn't hurt my wrench, didn't hurt the VNeck, not the body, nothing. Came off one piece, one try. Awesome little trick. Highly recommend it. So yeah. Detent, VNeck, cocker threaded, all the same. They both have that stupid trigger pin that you have to whack out. It's basically a straight steel pin. One end is knurled, and I'm assuming they just press it into the frame of the gun to hold the trigger in. To get it out, you have to whack it out with a hammer and punch, and it freaks me out every time I do it because I'm always afraid I'm going to whack the frame of my gun. I changed them both. This one has the violet pin. My Mini, I tried the element pin with. There's the element pin right here. I would definitely go element pin. No, I would definitely go violent pin over element pin. I didn't like the element pin all too much, but I do like it a lot more than the factory pin. So, yeah. The boards, they're interchangeable. In that regard, they are similar. They're both dovetailed, both attached to the trigger guard. They'll all work in between each other. The Optimus board will work on the Axe, the Shockwave board will work on the Mini, the Redline board will work on both. They're all interchangeable. The Noid, identical between the two. The check valve, the gasket, all identical. The bolt and spring, right here, the stock bolt and spring, identical. The rings are the same, the tip is the same, the spring is the same, identical. The poppet, again, the ring, the cap on it, everything is the same on the poppet end. The tube in the grip frame of the gun that actually transfers the air up to the transfer plate, the bottom half with the nipple on it that connects to your regulator is identical. The same. I want to say that's all the similarities between the Axe and Mini. Those parts are all identical. The differences now, the differences aren't vast, but they are improvements between the two. I will state that. Here's the Mini. The biggest difference between the Axe and Mini is on the eye board. The bottom of the eye board in the Mini has a magnetic sensor in it. When the magnet on the trigger of the Mini, right here, this magnet, when that magnet gets far enough away from the magnet on that eye board, that fires the gun. The Axe utilizes a micro switch. That's the biggest difference between the two. The Axe is micro switched. Huge difference. Much more crisp feel on the trigger. Really nice gun. That's the biggest difference. It's not the length or any bullshit like that. Oh, the power tube's different. It's toolless. Don't get me wrong. That's a difference. That's not the biggest difference between the two. It's the micro switch. Huge difference between the two. The triggers are much different from each other. It's the Axe trigger. Here's the Mini trigger. The Mini trigger has no bearings in it. It has 2 points of adjustment and a repelling magnet in the back. The Axe trigger has the bearings in it, which are very nice. 3 points of adjustment. And this one doesn't have it in it anymore. I moved it over to my critical trigger. It also has the repelling magnet. No springs for the magnets, for the triggers on the Empire guns. There it is, right here. The magnet, the repelling magnet's built into the frame of the gun. Really nice, really crisp. Again, toolless to get the bolt assembly out. Nice. This comes factory with the relay. Nice. But again, this is what everybody touched upon already. Anybody could see that just by looking at the two. You don't have to hold them or feel them, nothing like that, to notice these differences. The things you can't see are that second half of the tube I was talking about that connects to the transfer plate. The top of that black tube in the Axe has an aluminum, kind of like a cushion or a restrictor at the top of it, and a retaining ring on the inside of the tube. That's a difference between the two. Very small, nobody will see that just by looking at this. You have to take the gun apart to notice it. On the Mini, it's just a hollowed out tube threaded to one end, screws in right next to your Noid. Not a huge difference, but it's there. Nobody touched upon it. The other big difference is the stock dwell on the Mini is only 7 milliseconds. On the Axe, it's 8 milliseconds. I don't really understand why, because they use the same Noid and the same operating pressure, but I don't know. It shoots great at 8 milliseconds, not so good at 7. I'm assuming it has to do with that restrictor in the tube, but I can't confirm. I'm not an airsmith. Those are the real big differences between the Axe and Mini. I will say the Axe shoots a little bit more level, only because I think it's a little heavier, and just because it's raked out a little bit more. Between your hands being further apart and just the length of the body and power tube, I think it shoots a little bit more level. There's also the price difference. I think the mini retails at like $330. This is at $460, $470, something like that. Honestly, you can't go wrong with either or. They both shoot fantastic. They're just very reliable, easy to maintain guns. Can't go wrong. I hope this video was helpful. Thought it was in depth. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Talk to you guys later. Thank you.